All right, let's talk about a document that's incredibly important to your career, but let's be honest, can feel a little intimidating. I'm talking about your 91-page union contract with the Windsor Unified School District.
So, what's really inside all those pages? It might look dense, but I want you to think of it less like a dry, dusty rulebook and more like a detailed roadmap for your professional life. It is packed with stuff that affects you every single day you're on the job. In this explainer, we're going to show you that this contract is basically your personal career toolkit. Seriously, it's your guide to your pay, your time off, and your rights. So let's get that toolkit open and see what's inside. Okay, first things first, let's lay the groundwork. What even is this agreement, really? This contract isn't just a list of rules handed down from on high. Nope. The very first page calls it a bilateral and binding agreement. Now that's key, because bilateral means it's a two-way street. It is a legally enforceable promise between you as a member of CSEA Chapter 673 and the school district. And this particular promise is locked in tight until Halloween of 2026. So who gets to use this toolkit? Well, Article 1 is crystal clear. CSEA is the one and only representative for all classified employees. But it's also really specific about who's not covered, like management, substitutes, and short-term folks. The main takeaway here, if you're a permanent classified employee, this contract was written specifically for you. All right, let's get to the part we all care about, right? Your paycheck and perks. This is where the contract turns from words on a page into actual dollars and cents in your pocket. Right off the bat, Article 3 delivers a huge win, an 8% total compensation increase for the 2023-2024 school year. And this wasn't some far-off promise. It was a real, tangible boost that you've already seen show up in your paychecks. And if we zoom out to the bigger picture, the contract locks in a 9% total salary increase over its 3-year lifespan. This gives you predictability and makes sure your pay keeps climbing. It shows this isn't just a one-time bump, it's a sustained investment in you. You know, beyond your base salary, the contract has all these other ways you can earn more. This is where your specific skills or maybe even tricky work schedules can really pay off. For example, Article 3 lays out a split shift differential of over $13 a day. And if you're bilingual, the contract has some really valuable stipends to reward you for those skills. Let's take a closer look at that bilingual skill, because it's a perfect example. The contract lays out 2 main tiers. If you can communicate at a basic conversational level, that's a $650 annual stipend. Nice! But if your speaking and writing skills are strong enough for office support, that jumps up to $800 a year. It's a clear financial reward for a super critical skill. Okay, money is important, for sure, but your time is just as valuable. So let's look at the next section of your toolkit, your time and your leave benefits. First up, holidays. How many paid days off do you get? Article 6 guarantees a minimum of 13 paid holidays every single year. I mean, think about that. Just for holidays, that's nearly 3 full work weeks of paid time off. In your vacation time, it literally grows with you. Appendix D lays out this clear path. A 12-month employee, you start with 12 vacation days, but you stick around for 4 years, and boom, that jumps to 18 days. After 9 years, it's 21. The contract is designed to reward your loyalty with more time to relax and recharge. The contract also has your back during really difficult times. Article 6 outlines bereavement leave, giving you 3 paid days if a family member passes away. But it also includes this really compassionate and practical detail. It extends to 5 days for a spouse, child, or parent, or if you have to travel over 300 miles. So what about extra hours? How does that work? Well, Article 4 creates a system that's all about fairness. Overtime has to be offered first to employees doing that job at that specific site. If no one takes it, the offer expands to others in the same role across the district. And only then does it go to other qualified union members. It's a hierarchy designed to make sure the opportunities go to the people closest to the work first. So, we've talked about the carrots in the contract, the pay and the time off. Now let's look at the shield, your rights and your protections on the job.
This, right here, is one of the most important protections in your whole toolkit. Article 9 on safety says, and I'm going to quote this directly, unit members shall not be required to perform any duty that is unreasonably dangerous to his/her health or safety. That's not just a suggestion. That's a right, guaranteed in writing.
So what happens if you think the contract has been violated? What's your move? Article 14 gives you a clear, structured grievance procedure. It's not just you against the system. It starts with a written grievance to your supervisor, but it doesn't have to end there. You can appeal to the superintendent, then to state mediation, and if needed, all the way to a final, binding decision from a neutral third party. There's always a path forward. Of course, with rights come responsibilities. And to make sure everything's fair for everyone, Article 11 also clearly defines what could lead to disciplinary action. Things like insubordination, neglect of duty, dishonesty. By setting these boundaries, the contract works both ways, establishing really clear professional expectations for everybody.
And finally, your contract isn't just about what's happening right now. Let's see how it helps you build for your growth and your future. So you want to advance your skills? Check this out. Article 21 has a professional growth program with a really powerful incentive. For every 6 units of approved coursework you finish on your own time, you get a $400 annual salary bump. To put it simply, the district is literally paying you to invest in your own career. So you see, when you put it all together, the pay, the time, the protections, the growth, you realize that this 91-page document isn't something to be nervous about. It's a living, breathing toolkit designed to support you, protect you, and reward you at every single step of your career with the district. From knowing your rights on a tough day to planning your next big career move, this document gives you the tools you need. Your contract is your career toolkit. So the only question left is, how are you going to use it?